Hey everyone, Hassan here. Welcome to the world of Ha. Today I have a very special unboxing and review for you. These are the threezero 1/6 scale Mighty Morphin Power Rangers action figures. These are super cool. So for those that don't know, 1/6 scale figures are, as the name implies, are 1/6 the scale of, you know, what they normally would be in real life. And basically, these are highly detailed figures, similar to if you've ever seen Hot Toys figures. Insanely detailed, you know, they hide all the joints and everything super well, and they look so realistic, and then have a premium price point attached to them as well. And so threezero is the company that made these. Now, I have previously on this channel reviewed a smaller scale Red Ranger from Figureborn, but on the 1/6 scale side of things, Ace Toys made an unofficial lineup of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I reviewed them, and in my review, I did not like them. I'll be honest, I had my critiques. There were colors that were off, and they felt kind of cheap, and it wasn't great. I was really hoping for something official. Next thing you know, threezero announces the pack, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is great. I just bought these Ace Toys ones. Do I really want to get the threezero ones? And there are pictures of like the Green Ranger and the Morpher with silver instead of gold. Like there were inaccuracies. So I said, you know what? For that amount of money you'd spend on these, I don't want to buy them. And so I said, I'm not buying the threezero ones. Next thing you know, these officially release. I see photos and videos. The issues that I saw were corrected. So it has accurate, you know, paint and everything. And they looked fantastic. So I said, you know what? They look good. They did them justice. I will support it. So here we are. So I had to get that intro out of the way because of my previous review. But first of all, I'm in front of the packaging alone. This is fantastic. This is actually the team pack, the 6-pack. You can buy them individually. They're about $100 each. So yes, these are premium price point. Like you take your Lightning collection, like 20-something dollars. These are $100 each. So you buy the team, I want to say you get, I forget how much of a discount, but you get somewhat of a discount if you get all 6 together. And the individual packaging also looks fantastic, but this is a really cool box here. It does say at the bottom, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 6-pack. You got, excuse me, the Core Rangers and the Green Ranger right there, licensed by Hasbro. This is an official product. These are the only, as of now, official 1/6 scale figures. I know there's other things that are going to be released in the future at different scales, but the 1/6 scale, as of now, this is the official one. So really cool box. The top there just has like the logos and stuff again. Let's just take a look at all the details here. The side has this little lightning bolt cut out as well for the box, which is really cool. threezero. What about the other side? Let's flip it around. Oh, check that out. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. But the image is all the Rangers, but the actual figures. So that's how they look. And they look fantastic. So that's really cool. Okay. Then you take a look at the back right here, or the front, I guess whichever way you want to display it. And they have like the actual dinosaur symbols, like the power coins, in this nice like gold foil, and then they have the, you know, dragon logo right there. So that looks really cool. And then kind of as little outlines in the background are each of the individual you know, ones as well. It looks really cool. I like the kind of gold foil on this. Just fantastic packaging. But you know what? We got to open it, right? So that's what we're gonna do. Just fair warning, this is going to be a long video. There's going to be a lot to cover here. And if you don't know me already, I like to talk about everything in great detail, and that involves a lot of rambling. So just fair warning, you have been warned that this is going to be a long one. Now to figure out how to actually open this up. Oh, I see. So you can just grab it from the little lightning bolt cutout that I showed you before at the top. And then I'll grab the box. Oh, we got stuff popping out here. There's a warranty thing. There's an instruction sheet showing you how the weapons combine. So yes, they do indeed combine, which is great. And then here is the actual box. So there's a little thing on the side that says it's morphin time, which is pretty cool. And then you have again the image right there. And then basically, the way this works is this just folds right open. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit this on camera. Let me try. But it folds open to showcase all the Rangers. Boom. Check that out. So, I mean, you could try and maybe display it like this, but the problem is there's like plastic all over the Rangers and stuff too. Unless you take them out, take the plastic out, and then put them back in here, maybe. I'm going to take them out and display them, but these are very, very cool. I cannot wait to open all these up. There's lots of accessories included in this whole thing. So, yeah, oh my gosh, this is going to be really, really cool. So without further ado, you know what? We're just going to jump ahead, and I'll have these out of the packaging, and let's take an up-close look. Here they are out of the packaging, and these guys look fantastic. These figures look so nice. I mean, I got them out of the packaging, and they looked good, right? They look good. And then I turned on, like, my studio lights, and they just, like, came to life. Like, the shine off of the suits, like, it looks so good. All right, we're going to get into all the details behind that for sure. Don't worry about it. But before we get into the Rangers themselves, I want to talk accessories and all the things that they come with. And actually, I have one small thing missing. So I'm going to try and reach out to threezero, and hopefully they're going to help me out. But that's unfortunate. So basically, every one of these Rangers comes with 2 sets of hands pre-installed, or I guess 1 set of hands, but you know, one left hand, 1 right hand each. And then there's 6 other hands, so 3 left hands and 3 right hands, for every Ranger. And there's some variations to that, right? Like the female ones, the hands are a little smaller. There's certain ones that like are meant to hold, you know, their individual weapons and that sort of thing, right? Now, Tommy, the Green Ranger in particular, doesn't have 6 extra hands beyond that. He actually has 7 extra hands. However, I'm missing one of them. I don't 100% know exactly which one I'm missing, but as soon as I opened up the packaging and pulled it out, there was a space for one of the hands in there that was empty. So that is kind of unfortunate. I did take a little picture. I'll just kind of show you the picture. But basically, like you see the hands packaged like that. So these 3 are Tommy's on this side. The other 3 are for Kimberly right next to him. But you see there's supposed to be 4 here, and there's 1 missing. So whatever hand that one was, missing. So I'm gonna have to contact threezero about that. Now, your mileage may vary. Hopefully that doesn't happen to you, but something to keep an eye on, okay? Now, the unfortunate thing is this is not something you can just go into a store and buy. You gotta order it online. And so you're just gonna have to hope that your package arrives complete. I haven't heard of anyone else having this issue, so it could just be me being unlucky, but it is what it is. All right, let's get to the accessories then, shall we? So let's focus on the hands first. And so all of these Rangers come pre-installed with the same style hand. I'll just bring the Red Ranger just, you know, to see. But basically kind of like an open palm, couple fingers sort of spaced out a little bit. Just a plain, straightforward, you know, hand grip right there. So, and I almost knocked over the Green Ranger. But basically, that's what you get pre-installed. So, what else do you get, right? So, here's the Blue Ranger. Let's go through the Blue Rangers ones. You get 2 fists right here, okay? Then you get 2, you know, open hands for certain things to slide into, like certain, either the Blade Blaster or his weapons. I think these types are pretty standard amongst them. But the one that's unique to the Blue Ranger, which I suppose you can mix and match, are these Karate Chop hands that he has as well. So there's that, okay? Pink Ranger, then, also again comes with the fists, although a little bit smaller than the Blue Ranger hands to kind of match the proportions of the Pink Ranger figure. You have, again, the sort of weapon holding hands. And then she actually comes with these 2 kinds. So you get this right hand with 2 fingers out like that to kind of grip her weapon and or, you know, the arrow. And then you have this hand right here. So these are the 2 styles that the Pink Ranger comes with. All right, Green Ranger. So I have the 2 fists, so I have those. I have the 2 weapon holding hands. And then I have these 2, so I don't know which one I'm missing exactly, but I have this one here with like the 2 fingers, which I think is for the Dragon Dagger, and that's kind of the more important one to me, so I'm glad I have that. And then I have this sort of open style hand. I'm wondering if there's another one of this style is what I'm missing, maybe, because this is a right hand, and I think it was a left hand that was missing, maybe. So maybe that's what it is. If that's the case, that's not too bad, and I don't, like, it's not like a big loss for me, but I definitely am going to still contact threezero and see what they can do. Alright, Red Ranger, then, of course, again, you know what, it's the same style hands for the fist and the weapon holding hand, so I'm just going to jump to the unique ones, just to save time. So you have this one with, like, the thumb kind of folded in, but otherwise the 4 fingers out like that, and then this hand right here, kind of similar to the one with the Green Ranger, except the fingers are curled in a little bit. Alright, so Yellow Ranger again has the fists and the weapon holding hands. Pretty standard. But then also comes with these like pointy fingers like that. So there's that. Black Ranger again, fists and weapon holding hands. And then he comes with these 2, kind of this more open style with some curled fingers there. And then this one right here with the fingers all curled over like that. Okay. Super, super cool. Now, they each, or at least the 5 main Rangers, besides Tommy, come with their Blade Blaster. So let me try and get a little up-close look at the Blade Blaster accessory here. I mean, this thing has a great amount of detail. So you can see the Power Rangers word right there, which is really cool. I mean, just the paint and detail is super nice. It's even got like little like scuff marks on it, which are done intentionally to kind of look like, you know, it has some battle damage or some weathering and stuff, which I think looks really nice. So I think they did a fantastic job with these. Now, here's what's extra cool is, let's say you want it to be in blaster mode, right? So guess what you can do? Boom, check that out. Is this, yeah, does it fold in or out for the blaster? I think it's like that. Boom. You now have the actual blaster mode. And not only that, you can of course fold that back, do that, and then you might have to get like a nice little grip in here. That's going to be the only tricky part. I just don't know how to get, oh, there we go. Just clicks right out. Check that out, folks. You have the actual sword right here. Super, super cool. So I love that a lot. I think this looks fantastic. Great detail. And of course, you know, you have the actual holster right on here where the Blade Blaster can just slide right on in. And it just looks great. So that is super, super cool. Okay. So what about their individual weapons, right? So we do have all of their individual weapons. So here are, you know what, let's go in order of trying to complete this this power blaster here if I can. So one, you have your power axe right here. These are great size as well to these things. I mean, like look at how big this is. This is awesome. You again have sort of the weathering on there, which looks really nice. There's the Mastodon. I mean, this just looks fantastic. These are definitely lighter than you would expect for how big it is as well. So there's not like die-cast metal or anything in the weapon parts, which is fine too, because especially if they're going to be holding it, you don't want it to be super heavy that it gets weighed down either. So I do appreciate that. So yeah, there you go. And so basically you can, you know, fold it into 2 different modes. You of course have like the axe, and then you can slide this part down as well, and you know, be used as the blaster as well, which is really cool. So that is that. Okay. So then let's bring in the actual power bow for the Pink Ranger. Again, great size, looks really, really cool. Trying to keep things accurate to what they were. It actually has Ranger right there, because the Sentai name would be visible on some of these items. But there it is right there. It even has a tiny little pterodactyl power coin right there in the middle. And you actually have like a string right here, which is pretty sweet. You do also get an arrow. So here is the actual arrow that it comes with. Very sharp as well. And little, scuff marks and stuff to show, again, that it's not some super pristine thing. It's been used in battle, which is great. So if we're going to start to combine these things, we don't need the arrow for the Power Blaster, of course. So what we will do is basically take the bow here, and this essentially is supposed to slide right in. There's a little notch right there that will go into the inside. And then what you're going to want to do, to be careful, is the string itself. You can kind of fold on top. You don't want it to fold inwards, probably, I would imagine, just so it doesn't kind of get in the way. I mean, I guess I could try. Let me see. Let me just make sure. I mean, I guess that works too. I was just hoping, you don't want it to get messed up either. But I think that actually should be okay. So you have that there, and then this slides forward, basically, and that should maybe keep it into place. I don't think it's in all the way. I think it actually does slide back all the way for the power bow here, from what I saw before. You know what, maybe let's just take the string out just to make sure we're all good. And this should slide all the way, I believe it slides all the way back. There's a little groove there. And it is on the groove. There we go. Yeah, so you probably do want the string outside of it just because you're going to slide this all the way back. And then you slide it forward, and it's a better fit. So there you go. All right, so now that we have that, let's bring in some of the rest of these folks here. So we have the Power Sword next for the Red Ranger. Check that out. Again, really nice size. Looks super, super cool. Great detail to it as well. It just looks really, really nice. I love the, the gold used there as well. Just super, super cool. And this bad boy is really just going to slot right in at the top there. So it just clicks right in very easily and just rests right on the top there. Just like that. All right. And I know I'm not doing this necessarily in the order that they do it, on the show, but I'm just following instructions. So I'm just going in that order. Then, of course, we do have our Power Lance right here. So you have these little bad boys, but the cool thing is you can extend these out and attach them to make a pretty decently sized weapon there, which is really cool. Now, obviously, for the purposes of this, we need them in their small form. But also, it looks like you got to be careful because the little attachment, oops, knocked over the Red Ranger, can pop off one of the sides. So you want to make sure that you have it on both ends here. So do keep that in mind. So there you go. Okay. And yeah, basically, this just pops in right here. And here's the cool thing about it, is check that out. It's actually magnetic. It just pops right in. There's little grooves there where it kind of sits in nicely, but it just that's it. Which is both good and bad. These ones are a little wobbly. And so you see a little movement and it pops right off. So I wish the magnet was a little stronger. But I do appreciate how easy it is to just kind of pop it right on there. Okay. And then last but not least, we have the Power Daggers with the Saber-Tooth Tiger. Looks super cool. Very nice. And again, these ones have magnets, so you just pop it right on. And that's it. And there, folks, oops. Yeah, so that's the one downside here is the magnets are not the strongest. But if you just need to get it to pose like that, I mean, you have the Power Blaster, which looks super, super cool. So there you go. And that's a really nice size as well for this. I mean, it looks like a very powerful weapon. So there you have it. So, all right, that's that. Now, we didn't get to see the weapons of the Green Ranger, so let's just take a quick look. Here is the iconic Dragon Dagger. This thing looks fantastic. I mean, such great detail and paint to this. I love, like, even the green has got that little texture to it that it's supposed to have. You know, it's not just a straight green. They added the little texture as well. All the buttons and everything on here are just so perfectly outlined with that gold. Even these little buttons, they almost look like you can push them down, but you can't. Like, it looks so nice. Really, really nicely painted. Just fantastic. Really, really good. So that is the Dragon Dagger. Awesome, awesome stuff. But of course, as with most Green Ranger figures, they tend to include the Sword of Darkness, and they did not disappoint here either. I mean, it's so nicely done. Again, the most detailed I've ever seen it, even down to the texture right here with the gold part, and then little like bits of that black outline right there, you see? And that's also present right up here too. You know, that's one of those details you just don't usually see on this thing. But also you don't usually see it of this size and scale either. So that's really, really cool. And then you have this little piece hanging off the side there. So looks awesome. Really, really nicely done. Just all around, these accessories are absolutely fantastic. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're like, hello, we're like way far into this video. This video should be over now, and you haven't even talked about the Rangers. That's because, again, there's just so much to these figures, and for the amount of money that you're paying, like, you would hope that all these little details are true and clear and detailed, and they are. And the suits, I mean, we still have a lot more to cover because there's some great, great stuff here with the suits as well. So I definitely want to get into all that. So let's talk about it. Let's start with the Red Ranger front and center right here. So all of these Ranger suits have a nice like metallic shine to the material here, which I think just looks fantastic, especially if you shine like some light on it. I mean, it just reflects off so nicely, and it like looks cool, but then also I feel like the fact that you're having kind of that like shine to the suits, in a way, almost makes them seem more realistic, rather than just a flat, you know, like plastic color or something that you see on other figures. And I mean, these look just so nice. The helmets don't have that metallic shine to them. They've used kind of the more glossy finish to the helmets, which makes sense for the helmets, and they still matched, you know, the shade of color, which was a concern I had, or an issue I had with the Ace Toys figures. Now granted, those are unofficial figures, but I hated that because the Yellow Ranger was a huge issue on that one. The helmet and the suit were like a total mismatch of colors. It was really bad. Unfortunately, I can't do a comparison because I hated the Ace Toys figures so much. I actually got rid of them. I pretty much never get rid of anything Power Rangers related. I still have almost my entire collection from when I was a kid and over the years, but those Ace Toys figures I got rid of because I hated them. These, though, are fantastic. So really, really nice look and feel to them. Now let's take an up-close look at the details here. I'm going to try and see if I can, like, get all this stuff in front of the camera. It's a real tricky angle, but we're gonna see what we can do. The helmet looks great. The Red Ranger helmet, it's amazing just for the fact that, like, the Red Ranger is supposed to be so iconic, just how much this helmet gets screwed up. Like, it is just amazing to me how much people mess it up. In this case, they didn't. You have, you know, the silver teeth there with the white border. Sometimes they make that entirely silver on some action figures. It's so weird. You know, everything's outlined nicely on the helmet there. I don't know why this camera doesn't want to, like, focus as much, but it just overall looks really, really nice. I mean, you've seen the suit, so let's take a look at the Morpher. So it does say Power Rangers. You got the T-Rex there. Nice, you know, coloring with the black, the silver there, and then the actual black buckle as well, which is great. And then you have, of course, the holster here for the Blade Blaster, which is really cool. Now, you can actually, if you want to, take this part off. So if you slide this over, might be easier to slide it the other way. There's actually a little belt here, so you can, you know, go into here and unclip it and take this entire thing off. I'll just do it once, just for the sake of demonstration here. But as you can see, this comes right off, and here you have the Red Ranger without it. I honestly don't know why you would do that. If I'm being honest. Let me know in the comments section below if you feel like there's a reason that's necessary to kind of be able to pop that off. Maybe it's more just a manufacturing thing, and it was easier to, you know, obviously manufacture without it, and then they just left that functionality to allow you to just clip it back on just for the heck of it. I don't know. I mean, I don't mind it at all. I just don't foresee myself ever using that, but I did want to highlight it because it is possible for that to happen. And of course, as I'm doing this now, everything's kind of sliding off. So let's make sure the holster's back on, make sure everything is nice and in place, and then clip it back together. Okay, and then we're gonna slide this cover right back on over. So for the most part, this kind of blends in. It just sort of stick out a little from the side, which is a little odd, but it is what it is. You know what, to be honest, I wonder if, like, that's how it is in the actual suit, from the back of the suit. I've never paid that close attention to the back of the suit before, so maybe that's actually just because it's more accurate. I don't know, but it's fine. It's good enough. Yeah, and so then basically you have these cuffs here that are harder plastic versus this part that's, you know, the fabric material, and obviously the hands are harder plastic. Same with the boot pieces, and then the feet. Now, the one thing that I found that's common across these figures is very easily the feet can pop right off. Not a super big concern, but I imagine when you're getting ready to pose this thing and kind of bend the feet a bit, you're going to have some of these kind of popping off a little bit, so you just got to be careful. Hopefully these don't get too loose. That is just something to kind of keep an eye on as we go through these. So now that you've seen the suit here, and I'm now knocking over all of the Rangers, I'm actually going to move all of these out of the way just because that would make my life a little easier. Let's just talk about the articulation on these figures. Now, I am sure to miss some of it, and I'm not going to be doing the full extent of it because I just don't want to push the limits of the figure, you know what I mean? But I do want to showcase a couple of things. So let me see how I can get all this in frame. Okay, I think that should be okay. So basically, of course, you know, the helmet will rotate all the way around. Lots of movement there. Can move, you know, side to side. Lots of great stuff there. The arms, I think there's a little bit of a swivel here, which is great. The arms can, of course, rotate around a little bit, but the fabric's gonna be pulling it. You can move them up. There's a nice ratchet joint there, which is great. These do twist. You know, the entire arm will twist. I think there's a double joint at the elbow, it feels like, which is great. And then the hand is going to be a little limited in rotation and movement because of the arm cuff. But again, you can swap out different hands for different purposes. So I feel like you have a great range of motion for what you would need. You have forward and back movement, twisting right there. The legs can do the splits, can kick forward. You do have a twisting here at the legs, and see what I mean about the foot kind of popping right off. So there's that. Double joint at the knee. And then, you know, this entire boot piece can sort of rotate as well. And then of course the feet, you can move a little bit, but you twist it too much and it's just going to pop right off because of the other part of the boot here. But you do have a good range of motion here on this ball joint. So lots of things that you can do to pose the Ranger figures, which is really, really cool. I'll have a nice pose at the end of this that I'll showcase, but just as a quick sample, you know, the type of stuff you can do. I mean, this looks fantastic. The other thing that I love is how well the Ranger actually stands too. Sometimes you find with some of these figures that you really need stands to properly display them, but so far, unless you do some crazy poses, these actually do stand pretty well on their own, which I love. So that is a huge, huge bonus for sure. All right, so that is the Red Ranger. Let's quickly take a look at the blue and black Rangers, just because as far as articulation goes, it's all going to be the same. So I'm not going to talk too much about that. But let's just take a look at the detail. Let's bring in the blue Ranger right here, Billy. Super, super cool. Let's take an up-close look. There is his helmet right there. Again, looks really, really nice. I think they did a great job with all of these helmets, for sure. And a really nice blue that they used too. My camera is not doing it justice, I would say. The camera almost makes it look a little darker than what it actually is. But it's not too far off. It is still a very, very nice color. Of course, you do have your Triceratops coin right there. Power Rangers on the Morpher, which looks great. Yeah, just overall, really, really nice looking figure. Again, same articulation, so I'm not going to go through all of that, but it's just going to look awesome. The one thing to consider is they did use the same, body type, just, I assume to save costs for all the guys. So as far as like height differences, there are none. So some people may be upset about that if you want it to be like truly show accurate, and maybe some Rangers are slightly shorter or taller than others. I don't personally mind too much. I think as long as, they all look good together, then it should be fine. But I just did want to mention that. And then we have the Black Ranger as well. And again, sometimes the Black Ranger, it has the potential to just look very bland and basic looking, just because the black color, there's not too much to work with there, but they still managed to give it a nice bit of a, the black, it's hard to necessarily call it like a metallic shine, kind of like the others are, but it definitely does have a reflection or reflective quality to it, similar to that. So the black does look kind of nice and a bit dynamic in the light versus just a plain flat black color. So it does actually look really, really nice overall. And even the glossy black for the helmet matches very well with the rest of the black color used on the figure. So let's take a look at that helmet up close right there. The Mastodon looks super, super cool. This helmet was always great. I loved the way they incorporated, the full look of the Mastodon in there. I always thought this helmet looked really cool. And I think they did it justice here. Looks really nice. And there is the Mastodon Power Coin in the Morpher. So overall, again, looks fantastic. So last but not least for the guys, we do have the Green Ranger, and I did want to. I'll talk a little bit about articulation just because the shield might limit things a little bit, but overall, man, this just looks fantastic. This was almost the reason I didn't get the threezero figures, to be honest, because I was like, if I'm gonna get these figures, I'd want the whole set, and if the Green Ranger's not accurate, like, that would just be very disappointing. So the initial pictures had a silver Morpher here, and I did not like that. However, you know, you'll be pleased to see they fixed it, and it looks great. So that is awesome. This figure just looks really nice. First of all, the green is a really nice shade of green, really kind of reflective in the light, and it has a nice shine to it. But that shield as well has a really nice gold color that they used that also just shines in the light and just overall really makes it pop. And in some angles here, I think this one more than any of the other Rangers looks more realistic. Like if you have a nice like professional photographer taking photos of this stuff, you could almost pass for some pictures straight from the show with this thing. I just think it looks really, really nice. It is just absolutely gorgeous. So let's take an up close look. So here's the Green Ranger helmet, of course. So you got like the silver teeth marks and stuff too. Really, really nice. The little red right there, a nice kind of metallic red. And just overall, that helmet just looks really nice. And here's the shield. I mean, check that out. That looks so cool. But the great thing about it, again, is like, depending on the angle that you look at, it's got a very, very subtle kind of like weathered look to it. I don't know if that's intentional or not. It's extremely subtle, but it like, again, just makes it look more realistic versus something that's truly pristine. But it has a very nice shine and stuff to it. Like it still looks, you know, really clean. Yeah, I mean, that just is awesome. I believe this may be able to come off. I don't want to mess with it, to be honest. But you can appreciate they do have the white diamonds under there as well. So you may be able to take it off. Again, like I said, I am not personally gonna mess with that because I don't want it to get all loosened or screwed up. But it looks really good. And of course, he does have his little armbands here, so these gold ones, so you can kind of slide them up or down and adjust accordingly as you have it. There's his Morpher, the gold Morpher with the dragon coin as well, which looks really cool. The actual cuffs with the gold border around the arms, and same with around the boots. And you have the black holster there for the dragon dagger, which looks really cool. So all in all, I mean, this figure just looks really, really nice. So as far as articulation goes then, again, it's going to be the same body type, so pretty much the same articulation. The only question is how much the shield may impact things or not. And so as you can see with the arm movement, I mean, it's pretty wide there. You have pretty much the same exact range of motion. I don't foresee that shield really restricting much of anything for this Ranger here, which is great. And of course, because it's not like molded onto the body, there's a slight, you know, give in case you need to kind of bend a little. But I mean, it's exactly the same articulation that you get on the other guys, which is great. All right, so with that being said, let's jump into the Pink Ranger then. We have Kimberly right here. Let's make sure this is attached on. Oh, this thing popped right off. And it feels a little sticky. I think there's glue or something maybe that's supposed to be holding that together that did not. And actually, this is the wrong way over. It's supposed to be like this. Great. So let me slide this. Sorry, you can't even see. The back part here that goes around the belt buckle is what I'm referring to, and it's come apart, which is not the greatest. But, oh, I keep screwing it up too, because what I want to do is get this in the front there, right? So, great. Try and slide this in like that, and then have this slide over. There we go. I think that's right. Now my fingers are a little sticky. So I'll have to be a little careful with that just to make sure that it actually stays together. Yeah. Here is the Pink Ranger. Overall, she falls right over. Overall looks pretty good. I definitely like the way she turned out. And yeah, we'll take an up-close look. I will say the one little thing is her pink helmet is a slightly different shade of pink. It's not that shine, and the sort of more glossier look here is a little different. It's not super bad, but it is a little noticeable. But I do appreciate that is consistent more with the the boots and the arm cuffs as well. So overall, not too bad. But still, I do like the way that the helmet looks overall. Okay. There's the morpher. Looks pretty cool. And she does have the skirt. But otherwise, I mean, very similar look and feel. So how does the articulation differ, if at all? Well, let's take a look. So obviously you have the same head rotation and movement right there. Then you do have a little bit of the rotation there with the arms. If anything, it feels like she can rotate her arms even more, maybe up or down. I don't hear the ratchet like that you do for the guys, so it's possible that she, doesn't have that. There's a bit of a squeak there, so maybe there's some other mechanism for that. It also appears that the top part of the arm does not twist, although the bottom part does. And it feels like maybe there's just a single joint at the elbow, so maybe that's why at that single joint is where it rotates. So, a little different there, but I mean, I don't feel like I'm restricted in any of the movement necessarily. It's just a little different, Then you do have some up and down movement, side to side. You can twist. Legs can move, kick forward. The knees are a double joint, so the knees are the same. And then the rest is, of course, going to be the same mechanism down here for the feet and stuff too. So it's really just the arms that are truly going to differ in movement, but I don't think it really hinders anything. It's just different. So there's that. All right, so that's the Pink Ranger. Let's bring in the Yellow Ranger next. So here she is, and again, no skirt here to kind of keep things accurate. And overall, really, really nice shade of yellow, has a nice shine to it, and looks really cool. The helmet up close. Great detail. And there's the morpher. Okay, with the Saber-Tooth Tiger. And yeah, I'm not going to go through the articulation because, again, it's going to be the same, but just like the Pink Ranger, you have the single joint. Now, she actually does have the ratchet, so it may just be, you know what, I think it actually is a ratchet joint there, the Pink Ranger. It just might be a little squeaky or not super tight there, but it is the same mechanism and single joint at the elbow that rotates as well, I believe. I'm no expert in this type of thing, if I'm being completely honest, but it's what I noticed, so I just call it out like I see it. So there it is right there. So lots to it. I mean, these figures just look absolutely fantastic. But there's one more thing I want to do, and that is really pose these dynamically, show you the full extent of what these figures can do. So let's take a look. All right, here is the pose that I put together for the Ranger team. I will say, this took me a lot longer than I expected to do. It was not quite as easy as you might think. You know, and maybe that's just my lack of experience with these types of figures or what. But the biggest frustration for me was the hands and getting them to stay into place. They pop off very easily. That same issue I was talking about with the feet, if you bend it, you know, slightly different and it bumps up against the boot, same issue with the arm cuffs. Those hands pop off so easily. So especially if you're trying to get these dynamic poses with their weapons, oh my gosh, it can be quite frustrating. So keep that in mind. Some of these are very loosely there, and then every now and then they'd wobble over and fall on top of each other. That's not too big of a deal. Honestly, it was just getting the hands to really match. But I just kind of want to show you a little bit of what that looks like with them all together as the team there. And I gotta say, you know, it does look really nice. The thing about these figures too is, you know, generally these are probably meant more for display purposes as well. So you're probably not going to be swapping things in and out too much, I would imagine, unless you want to modify your display or that sort of thing. So doing it once, setting it up, putting it on a shelf, great. And I think that, you know, would look good. You might want to get a little bit of support for the figures so they don't topple over, but for the most part, they seem pretty sturdy. So yeah, overall, you know, a little challenging for me at least, to get these to be posed in a way I might want, but it worked, and overall I think this looks really, really cool. Very happy with how this turned out. Just to kind of pick the camera up again, show the whole team there, each with their weapons, looks awesome. My personal favorite figure, or what I think looks the best in my opinion, is going to have to be the Green Ranger. I think the shield and everything too, and the Dragon Dagger, it just looks fantastic. The Red Ranger being a close second. And Red Ranger is like one of my favorite all-time suits, you know, like it's so good. And the Green Ranger also is iconic and cool. But I do think the rest of the team also looks cool, and I think together especially they all really shine. So I think these are awesome. The fact of the matter is, you know, the audience here is going to be for those high-end collectors, right? And especially if you've never gotten a figure like this, you know, you're going to want to maybe dip your toes in a little, see what you think. These are, again, $100 each. Unless you get the whole team pack, you save a little bit of money, but again, that's a lot at once too. So, you know, you may want to consider, unless you've had Hot Toys or these style figures before, or if you know that you really want to get it, I think the entire team pack is a great way to just jump all in. But if not, you know, you can consider getting individual figures as well. Just look online. I believe I ordered mine from Big Bad Toy Store. So there might be a couple like specialty retailer stores that have them in stock. If anything, more the team pack. Getting them individually might be a bit trickier, but you know, look around, see what you can find, and boom, there you go. That's exactly what I was talking about. Is you might want to get a stand or something, or for extra support. It was fine for a little while, but then the Black Ranger fell over, and there goes half the team. So I think with that being said, we're going to end the review right here. Overall, I think these are really solid and really, really nice display pieces. Just got to keep, you know, a couple things in mind. And as you can see, as the Yellow Ranger fell over, the hand popped right off, and then the dagger fell out. Like these are you know, they're very delicate and tricky, so you just got to keep it in mind. But when they do come together, they look really, really great. So let me know in the comment section below what you think of these figures as well. I'd love to get your feedback, and if any of you have planned to get them or anything. Lots of other reviews coming to the channel. I have a big backlog that continues to grow just when you thought you've caught up, but it's all very, very exciting. So make sure you subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I will see you later.